Blog.
Hi, it's Calvin Strawn, creator of the Find a Way to Win programs, the Audacity program, and the Eruption Seminar. Welcome to my blog. This is my first official video blog, for those of you following me in my written format. Have a little fun here. It's my first one, first day of school type thing, just kind of have something nice and light for you. What I want to look at is a dive into the Find a Way to Win psychology. And it involves me and my wife, actually. Something we used to do late at night. We're together in bed. Many couples do this, and it's not too unusual. Watch a movie. So you would watch a movie every night before going to sleep, whatever movie, right? And this time I'm talking about was Seabiscuit. Seabiscuit with Jeff Bridges and I think Tobey Maguire. It's about the little horse in the Great Depression era who was an underdog horse who comes back and beats all these horses, and everyone just loves the story. And so if you haven't seen it, I just ruined it for you, and I apologize for that in advance. But for here, I'm talking about Find a Way to Win. That's the whole platform of my seminars, my courses, my membership program, even my coaching program is all about finding a way to win, using your creativity and your tenacity to beat the competition. So in this film, Jeff Bridges plays a man named Charles Howard. Now many of you may not know who Charles Howard is, and I'll share a bit about him. He becomes this great businessman in the 1930s. But in 1903, he wasn't so great. He was simply a bicycle repairman. And so that's all he did, is repaired bikes. He loved it. And he had a family, he had 2 boys and his wife, and they lived in Detroit, Michigan, I believe, in the story. In the book, actually, if you've read it, he lived in Michigan. But just like today's era, all the sort of advancement and pioneering and development of technology is happening on the West Coast. Today we have Google and Apple and we have Twitter, and all those companies are in San Francisco, the West. So back in 1903, it was the same for Charles Howard. All the advancement in design technology was happening in California. So he says to his wife, he goes, hey, listen, you know what? I'm going to go to California and make a life for us. Get something started there. And he was all inspired and motivated, right? Hopped on a train. Now, here's the interesting part of the story. He gets on the train and he has 2 dimes and a penny in his pocket, 21 cents. So he's in Detroit, Michigan, gets on a freight train and rides that train all the way across the U.S. with 21 cents in his pocket. So he basically was sort of stealing the ride on the train. He kind of hitchhiked, right? So he arrives in San Fran in 1903 with 21 cents in his pocket. Now, here's what's interesting. How much do you think that 21 cents is worth in today's terms? Just to give you some perspective here, okay? So today's 2016. So that 21 cents today is worth $5. So I'm not sure where you are in the world, but you can understand if you're in New York, let's say, and you had to go to California or San Francisco, and all you had was $5 in your pocket, that's a pretty tough ride, right? So food, sleep, lodging, all of that for $5. Just to give you some perspective. So he manages to get all the way to California with his 21 cents, and he's like, all right, I'm living my dream. I'm gonna get started taking care of my family, create an adventure for myself. He kind of begged and borrowed his way to opening up his bicycle repair shop. But something fascinating happened. No one cared about bikes. No one cared about bikes. It's the West, it's advanced, it's future. It was cars. People wanted cars. He knew nothing about cars. Smart guy, but these gas contraptions driving around, he's like, what is going on? Finally, somebody, and people who were very affluent could afford cars. Most people couldn't afford a car back then, right? So it was gradually picking up pace. And finally, one of these guys who's very affluent, who's driving this car, having a hard time, the car breaks down in front of his bike repair shop. And so Charles is like, okay, I can fix it, right? And the guy's like, you can fix my car? And he says, yeah, I can fix your car, no problem. He has no idea how to fix this guy's car. But find a way to win. Use your creativity, use your tenacity, right? He wants to become a magnet and become a businessman and bring his family here, right? He's put everything on the line. So he brings his car into his bicycle repair shop and starts tinkering with it and pulling it apart and destroying things. And finally, he's like, he figures out the hoses and the engine and the motor, and he's like, I got it. I know how it works. So he fixes his first car, then his second car, then his third car. Then he goes a bit further. He's like, you know what? I bet you I can sell these cars. I can sell these cars and make more money. So he approaches someone at Buick Motors and says, hey, I want to be your sales guy for the San Fran area. And the guy's like, okay. So he kind of talked his way into it because he's very driven, and he ends up being able to start selling cars in San Fran. In fact, he gets so good, he becomes the regional manager for the entire Western Seaboard. It's crazy. And then eventually, he becomes like the manager for the entire country. Now, why am I telling you this? Because after a couple years, he's able to bring his wife and 2 sons up to San Fran. Right? He made enough money as a salesperson and being a regional manager. Here's the fascinating part of the story, though. Fast forward 6 years later, he's done very well. He's wealthy beyond all means. And one of his friends does a business deal that goes totally south and says, Charles, oh my God, can you help me? This deal, I'm stuck. I need some help. Can you bail me out? I need some money. And Charles is like, well, how much money do you need? So Charles gives this guy a personal loan of $190,000. Here you go, I'll help you out. I'll bail you out. Now, if you're giving somebody a loan of $190,000, that kind of means you've got more money. You're not giving them your entire life savings here. You're just helping this person out. Now, this is in 1910, 1908. How much do you think that $190,000 is worth today? I'll help you out, make it easy. It's worth $5 million. So imagine being able to take $5 and within 6 or 7 years push it to $5 million as a loan to give to somebody. No Google, no Twitter, no WhatsApp, no iPhone, just your own creativity and tenacity to beat the competition. The reason why I'm sharing this in my blog here is this: anything is possible if you have the guts to believe it. You can do the most extraordinary thing, even though you don't have the background, the education, or the training, or the family support. You can do something extraordinary here. That's my time for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next one. Find a way to win.